What is going on, gamers? Aevatrex here, and we're gonna be showing again the 8 of 8 War God Warlock, but this time in Guild Wars. So take a look at the center of the base, take a look at the heroes, and take a look what happens once Warlock procs on them. Oh, yeah, those heroes are pretty much crippled. The main one that I'm focused on right now is that Skull Knight. Well, never mind, that Skull Knight is gone. 2 procs from Warlock, and this base is pretty much done. 3rd proc is over. The base is wiped. The only thing you have to worry about is some towers, a little bit of guardians, and then that Atlantic Core totem that absolutely did nothing because all of the heroes were dead, so it was pretty much useless. There goes the destroyer totem. That's not gonna stop this. Let's go ahead and go into the next one. Now this is Dino Zane. This one is actually pretty interesting because with the Warlock, you have to be very careful. There's not many buildings outside. But what I try to do here is actually try to get the Warlock to start hitting the buildings that are at the entrance of the base. So once he goes there, he shouldn't be targeted, and that'll give him more targets. And take a look at that proc. Already the Skull Knight is gone. So there we go. One more proc from this Warlock, and it should be game over. I'm just waiting for the energy, and come on, proc. There we go. Oh, the Golem has revived. That's okay though. That is okay because Golem, I'm not too worried about by himself because I do have Skull Knight. I am kind of worried about the Arctica though. I sent out the Dread Drake to kind of take out the Arctica. The Arctica survived somehow, but Arctica alone is not going to be enough to stop it. And since we have Skull Knight, Dread Drake, and Golem, I'm not too worried about clearing the rest of the base. That should be pretty easy. With the heals and the damage overall that Dread Drake does. So clean sweep there. Lost a few heroes, but at the same time, since we had already taken care of all the main heroes that we were worried about, we didn't have an issue keeping that one going. Now on this one, we're gonna go ahead and show the Warlock again. Here we go. We're gonna get that Ares proc. Now keep in mind, a lot of times when you're raiding these bases, you gotta take a look to see if the Skull Knight has 505 revitalized, because you don't want to start sniping the Skull Knight if he's under that, because you're not really gonna do any damage. So that's what I try to do in a lot of these raids, is just make sure that the Skull Knight isn't under his own proc. And there you saw that it was under the Calamity and it was pretty much dead. So what I did is I sent out the Dread Drake just to do the little bit of damage that he had left over. And again, we run into an Atlantic Core totem that has no heroes to help. There we go. We're going to the next one. Take a look at that little square in the middle of the base. What I did is I used one Guardian to use and proc that totem, and then that totem is pretty much useless. So that Atlantic Core totem right there is actually not a bad place to put on, but leaving it accessible for one little Guardian to be placed there is not good at all. So I went ahead and took full advantage of that. But take a look at the Warlock just cleaning house. The only thing that we have to worry about right now is the Skull Knight. The Golem somewhat, but not as much as the Skull Knight. We just need one proc. Come on Warlock, one proc. Oh no. Okay, the Golem is dead. We don't have to worry about the Golem, and then I send out the Dread Drake to do the little bit of damage that's left over. There's an Arctica totem in the other side, but this is pretty much a house clean. Again, the same thing. We have Ares and Warlock die, but they cleaned up the main hero, so the rest is just pretty much easy going. There we go, 100%. Then we go into this last raid. This one, there's a few buildings outside, but not that many. So again, I'm looking at the Skull Knight. It is under the proc, so I don't want to start the raid until that proc is gone and he can take full damage. There we go. That proc is gone. I start out and take a look at that. Already one hero is dead, and I think Ares is pretty much dead. There we go. It just almost did 300,000 damage to that Golem. I don't know how it lived, but there we go. The Skull Knight is almost dead again, and I sent out the Dread Drake to clean house. Now the only thing that I have to worry about is this Arctica and the Dread Drake, but they are not a big issue as a Skull Knight or Golem, for instance, so I'm pretty confident on cleaning this out. The Arctica especially is done, and Dread Drake is done, and that's it. So there you go, Warlock, 8 of 8 War God, in action. He has made Guild Wars really simple, and I'm not talking about airplane mode simple, if you know what I mean. But yeah, thank you guys for watching, and until later, bye.